A 3-year-old boy fell nearly 20 meters down a narrow well. Firefighters lowered a camera into the shaft and spotted the boy huddled up, slowly sliding further down. From deep inside the well, his faint voice could be heard, crying that he was in pain. The captain realized the well walls were pressing on the boy's chest, making it hard for him to breathe. Time was running out. Digging with an excavator was too risky as it could cause a collapse. No firefighter could fit down the narrow pipe, but in this desperate moment, the boy's older brother firmly volunteered, saying he could go down and save him.
Got it.
All right, time to go.
Miles, you're a really brave guy and a great big brother, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Ready? Here we go. Here you go. Tuck his head. All right, you got this, Mom.
The older brother entered the well headfirst, inching closer while calming his brother, reassuring him that he would get him out soon. He quickly secured the safety rope and kicked his feet to signal he was ready. The rescue was a success, and both kids emerged safe and sound.
Good job, Miles. Jack's really lucky to have a big brother like you.
And I'm lucky to have a little brother like him. Please, Wilma. Okay. I will, buddy. On my worm, wriggled closer and spotted Froggy the Frog, sunbathing on a lily pad. Hello, Froggy.
An electric vehicle burst into flames after just a minor collision. Firefighters initially thought the fire would be quickly contained.
Chavez, you're up!
But to their dismay, the car reignited moments later. Even more alarming was the revelation from the driver of the car behind. The owner was still trapped inside. The firefighters immediately increased the water flow and extinguished the fire again. Once the flames were subdued, they smashed the car window, pulled the man out, and rushed him into an ambulance. Yet, just as the ambulance drove away,
Y'all did good work?
Well, at least fire's out.
the vehicle reignited for a third time.
You had to say it, didn't you?
The bittersweet reality of electric vehicles, both a marvel and a headache. A police officer ignored the child in the backseat, smashed the car window, emptied his magazine. Earlier, officers stopped a woman, claiming her license plate was illegal, demanded to see her registration. The woman, identifying herself as a sovereign citizen, argued her plate was valid and cited specific legal clauses, insisting she had immunity. The officer didn't expect to face a pro. As the standoff dragged on, another officer volunteered, claiming he could handle it. He tried befriending her, claiming he was also from Montana. However, the woman erupted in anger, calling him a disgrace to their hometown and a federal lapdog. The officer's smile vanished instantly, his face twisting into a menacing glare. Ignoring the child in the backseat, he smashed the car window and attempted to forcibly drag the woman out. Panicked, the woman reached for her bag, likely to grab her license. But the rookie officer, thinking there was a gun, recklessly pulled the trigger. The supervisor stood stunned. How could anyone shoot at a mother with a child in the car, especially without even seeing a gun? Despite their best efforts, the woman succumbed to her injuries. This is the price of police brutality. The man let out a loud, forceful sneeze.
911, what's your emergency?
As the rescue team arrived, they found the man clutching his abdomen, lying on the ground. The firefighter asked if he'd recently had surgery, to which the man admitted he'd had an appendectomy last week. It turned out that a sneeze had burst open his abdominal stitches. His wife then shared with the firefighter that her husband sneezes every time he lies. They were arguing about a divorce. When he denied having an affair, he started sneezing uncontrollably. She saw it as karma for his dishonesty. Hearing this, the man was livid, shouting that he'd never loved her, only to be interrupted by another huge sneeze. His wife, watching this unfold, was suddenly struck with a wave of affection. She confessed that she hadn't wanted things to end like this, and wondered if they could start over. Moved, the husband apologized sincerely, promising never to stray again.
Son of a bitch, liar!
The woman was about to give birth, but firefighters arrived and immediately extinguished the flames. The husband, barely clinging to consciousness, repeatedly begged for his wife and baby to be saved first. The firefighters brought out a power saw but had to halt due to leaking fuel spilling everywhere.
Saw's a no-go, too many sparks!
With no other options, they switched to prying the car door open.
Wait, guys, stop, guys, stop! The umbilical cord is out.
Once it was opened, they quickly pulled the woman out.
Umbilical cord is out!
The medic issued an urgent warning to keep the umbilical cord elevated to prevent the baby from losing too much blood.
You've got 2, maybe 3 minutes before the baby's brain dead.
Okay, it's up!
Following the cord, they located and carefully rescued the baby. However, the baby remained silent throughout.
It's not crying.
It's here. Okay.
Spinner. Try to breathe, man. Try to breathe.
He's not crying. Hold on a second. Come on, kid. All right, there we go.
In the end, all 3 family members were safely rescued. The car crashed into a memorial service, toppling the coffin. When firefighters arrived, they were stunned to find that the elderly woman pinned under the car looked exactly like the photo on the memorial portrait.
I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am. I can't imagine how hard it must have been to lose your twin.
Sorry for my loss. That's me.
The woman explained that she had been sitting inside the coffin at the time of the accident. It turned out she was hosting a living farewell ceremony, knowing her days were numbered due to late-stage bone cancer. She had used the occasion to bring together long-lost relatives, but never expected such an incident to occur, nearly taking her and her loved ones along with it. Firefighters quickly placed airbags under the car and carefully inflated them to lift the vehicle. The elderly woman was successfully rescued. The driver was also saved. As it turned out, he wasn't wearing his glasses and had mistaken the entrance for a garage, crashing straight through. Fortunately, although some people were injured, no one was seriously harmed. A man called the police, reporting that his wife was on the rooftop holding his mother's urn hostage.
Where's your mother-in-law?
Right here.
That's your hostage?
Just the opposite. I'm her hostage.
The wife accused her husband of tearing down her carefully decorated bar counter to turn it into a memorial altar. The husband tried to compromise, promising that as long as the urn remained intact, he would restore the bar and move the urn to an empty room. Hearing this only made her angrier. An entire room for the urn? That seemed even more outrageous to her. In a fit of rage, she threatened to dump the ashes. But in her agitated state, she lost her balance and was blown off the rooftop by the wind. Luckily, the firefighters caught her in time. As for the urn, it landed safely on the inflatable cushion below. The man sighed in relief, explaining it was an antique heirloom from his mother. The couple was in the middle of a divorce. To prevent the $1 million antique urn from being split as an asset, he had placed his mother's ashes inside it. But
No!
That's Mom all over.